Morning, everyone. So I'm going to do a couple videos today about the election and what it's looking like. I'm going to have to do them in separate videos because I can only do up to 15 minutes. So I'm probably going to do at least two, maybe three or four, depending on how long it takes me to get through it. But first thing I think I need to explain is a lot of people feel that in Gore v. Bush, when the Supreme Court made a decision on uh, the Florida election recount that um, they ruled on these hanging chads. The hanging chads had nothing to do with it. They ruled that having the recount, such as it was going to, Florida was trying to do, would be against the Equal Protections Clause in the Constitution, and that's why they halted the recount. By the way, Bush never lost one single recount that they had. So, and then, what they were going to try and do was they had like 2 days to certify, and a lot of the rural counties didn't think they could get that done. And so you had a number of counties that were incapable of doing the manual recount, while you had some of the more wealthier bluish counties that were able to do it. And they, like I said, they ruled that violated the Equal Protection Clause in the Constitution. And that's exactly the lawsuit Trump has filed with the in the courts. I'm sure it'll eventually get up to the Supreme Court. And what he's basing that on that in Democratic districts, poll workers were helping uh, people that had something wrong with their ballot, were helping them fix it. Meanwhile, in the redder districts, you went in, you turned in your ballot, and you went home. And when it was counted, it was either accepted or rejected. And if you made a mistake on it, it was rejected. So that's one lawsuit. The other lawsuit is the Supreme Court has already, at least initially, uh, um, kind of ruled on. It's got to go to the full court yet, but is all these ballots that came in after 8 p.m. on election day. As I said in an earlier interview, the PA Supreme Court ruled that they could come in, I think, up to 3 days. Well, I think that lawsuit has the possibility of getting a lot of ballots uh, invalid, creating them, causing them to be invalid, because they got there after the deadline of what the state law said, and the Pennsylvania Supreme Court had no right to alter that deadline. I think that's going to be uh, maybe even uh, 6-3 or maybe even 7-2 ruling, because I mean it's obvious that the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania overstepped their legal bounds by extending that deadline. Therefore, all them ballots are invalid, and the race is so close right now. I I almost guarantee you most of them ballots were for Biden because they had to stop counting, figure out how many votes they needed, and then uh, come up with the ballots. Now, the fortunate thing is they had to come up with so many ballots, they didn't have time to do the down tickets in these states like Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, uh, and Georgia as well, and I think Arizona, but uh, don't quote me on that. But there's enough irregularities in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, that this election is going to be a mess. And, depending on, because all these cases are going to get up to the Supreme Court, I don't know what the Supreme Court is going to do about this. I think there's a very good chance Trump wins Pennsylvania. I think there's a very good chance he wins Arizona. And there's a very good chance that he wins Georgia. Well, that puts him right within striking distance. For Joe Biden to claim victory and the media to put him out there as president-elect is wrong, for one thing. But they're trying to get a statement out there in the public. And Trump, you've already seen the usual established Republicans. Dan Quayle now the latest, but George W. Bush, who else? Mitt Romney, the usual suspects, have all congratulated and said Trump should stop this. Trump should not stop this. Trump needs to fight this down to the very end. And he's exposing the Democratic machines that anybody who's really followed politics knew it was there. Now, typically Allegheny County, which is Pittsburgh, isn't that fraudulent. Philly's always is. Detroit pretty much always is. Milwaukee is. And by the way, the latest I heard is Philadelphia had a 95% participation rate in voting. There's no way. No way. So I listened to a lawyer that specialized, this is years ago, I listened to him years ago, but I'll never forget what he said. He specializes in recounts. He's an election expert lawyer, and his expertise is really in recounts. And he was talking about how every time a ballot goes through his hands, he has a chance to make that and to invalidate that ballot. And he went through some specifics. I don't remember what the specifics were now. Well, I think most of Trump's ballots aren't going to have irregularities in them. But I think there's going to be a lot of Biden ballots that are. You can't fabricate that many ballots and not make mistakes. It's not possible. And, Georgia's in an automatic recount now. The state legislature of Pennsylvania said they're going to mandate a recount, overseen by them. I think we're going to see a recount in Michigan and Wisconsin and possibly Nevada. So we got to wait and see. This isn't game over yet. It's not. It's not even close. And to be honest with you, I think Trump might have a better path to the election than Biden does. Now, we've got to see how well they fabricated this, but, if 95% of Philly turned out to vote, there's going to be a lot of dead people in them votes. And this legal team will find them dead people. And I think we're going to see this small Biden lead dwindle and dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. Because you're not going to see any major voter fraud in the rural Pennsylvania counties. So again, I think Arizona's going to flip. First of all, they should have never called Arizona. Georgia, I think that Trump's going to come out ahead in that, in Pennsylvania. And, so I'd have to add up the numbers, but let me see, 215, 20, 234, 15, 249. Arizona's, I think Georgia's 18, 239, 249, 257. I think Arizona's 12. So I'll get him right within striking distance. And we'll have to wait and see, but this election isn't over. This election is not over. All right, thank you all. You have a good day. Bye.